Before this video starts, let me just say this guide was made because of one person, and that person is Maya. Maya's a good friend of mine, and she recently found some super old footage of me playing League of Legends with my brother and hasn't shut the fuck up about it. I mean, literally brings it up at least once a day. So congratulations Maya for breaking me down, and here's your official largely large guide on how to beat League of Legends. Make sure to stick around at the end of the video for my golden nugget that will 100% improve your gameplay experience. Roll the intro. Now, I stopped playing the game properly a long time ago. The only time you'll catch me in the game now is if the homies are playing an ARAM and they need one more. So you might be thinking, is this going to be an ARAM guide? Well, no, because when has my lack of knowledge ever stopped me making a guide before? There's no denying that League of Legends is a game with a lot to learn, and I mean a lot. At the time of making this video, the game currently has 163 champions, each champion with their own set of 4 unique abilities, and some with even more. Then, there are summoner spells and runes, and they can really make or break a character, and that's before you've even loaded into the actual game. So with so much to teach, and only 10 minutes to do so, you're probably wondering, how am I going to get all the information you need to beat League of Legends in the video? Well, worry not, because in my prime, I made it to the lofty heights of Gold 4, which means I am fully qualified to teach you all what you need to know. So without further ado, I present to you how to beat League of Legends. The first thing you need to do is pick a role and a character. I recommend just picking one character and one role to start learning the game. This will mean you get used to how the game works without having to figure out a new champion and position every single time. Some easy starter champions for each role are Garen in top lane, Master Yi in the jungle, Lux in the mid lane, Miss Fortune in the attack damage carry position, and Morgana as support. There are of course other easy characters that you can play, but if you pick up the game from brand new and pick the fucking cat character, I will find you and I will kill you. Now you've picked your champion and role, you're ready to look at runes. When I started playing the game, runes looked like this. What the hell? And you had to buy them. Now Riot does the work for you and sets up some recommended rune pages for you to use, which is very nice for new players, but just a warning, this is where it stops helping new players and the brutal learning curve begins. You load into your first bot game and probably do pretty well. You do a few more of those until you feel like you have mastered your champion and role. You then call up your homies who have been playing League for a bit longer than you and ask them to hop on. This time you're playing against actual people and you get dumpstered on. I'm talking 0-28 or something ridiculous. How did the enemy fuck me up so bad? Why does he have so much more gold than me? Who is this guy coming out of the bushes to eat my ass? Now your homies are probably telling you, hey man, don't worry, League has a steep learning curve, and if you just keep going, you'll slowly get better. Well, I'm here to tell you that they are wrong, and the best way to beat League of Legends is to uninstall it, alright? Quick time, press the button, okay? Just go outside, meet someone nice, start a family, get your dream job, okay? It's not too late. Shut your bitch ass up! Providing you have decided, largely large, I'ma be honest, that green shit on the floor out there, that scares me. Then you have chosen the path of the gamer goblin, and we must carry on. The aim of the game is to get their big crystal to explode before yours does. Doing that is much harder than it sounds, so let's break it down. In the early game, for new players, I would go into the game with the mindset of, you don't have to win lane, just don't lose it. Learning that genuinely took me out of bronze rapidly. Admittedly, sitting around in lane just trying to survive can be boring, and sometimes you see the low health 4-0 Teemo, and your 0-4 ass says, this time, it'll be different. But I assure you, no the fuck it won't, okay? Stay your Demacia having ass away from that rodent. The difference between winning and losing a game can lie in the hands of one fed person. And if your bot lane finds out what you've done to that Alawi before they've even left lane, I promise you they won't be too happy. Just survive. You've conceded one death, it's clear this person knows more than you. Enter Bear Grylls Born Survivor mode.
Oh, look at that. That is one big poo.
If by some miracle you're also against someone brand new and you are ahead of them, do not let your ego get the best of you, because these guys don't care that you've downloaded Porofessor. They'll still clap your ass free of charge. You do not need to dive them like Darth Sidious every time they appear in lane. Congratulations, you've made it to the mid-game, and hopefully no one's called you a slur yet. Mid-game is where you want to think about what you're going to build. There's a whole host of items in the game that can really turn the tide, so making sure you're building correctly is essential. I'm not going to tell you what to build because each item has a breakdown of what they do when you click on them, so stop being a weenie and just read it. Well, what about actual gameplay? Honestly, I don't really know what advice would be helpful for new players. So I asked some homies that do play League what they thought, and here's what they said. My first response was from the GOAT, Bert Bromley, and his was pretty straightforward. FF. My second response came from Mr. Atomy Gun, who said, for like a first time player, champs and roll, not a factor. When you die, figure out what killed you and try to come up with a way of avoiding it. Which kind of defeats the whole first point of my video, so maybe just disregard that. He then said, or try to usefully cool downs in a fight. I didn't really know what that meant, but this guy is pretty good at League, so definitely make sure to usefully cool downs in a fight. My third response was from the default Dan, who said either way, you're going to get abused in-game and in chat. League is a mental diff game, just be big strong brain. Again, doesn't really add much to the actual gameplay, but definitely good advice. Winning the mental game is half the battle. My fourth and final response was from Big Dave, who happens to be our top donator, so shout out Dave, big love for that. And he said, there's a lot to include in messages, which filled me with a lot of hope. So let's see what he has to say. So in conclusion, mid-game doesn't exist, and you should just try to not die, which is kind of what you want to do the whole game.
So thanks for the advice, guys, you fucking useless.
Late game is sort of where you can see the real potential of your champion. Most people will have full build, and if you don't, you should definitely be thinking about your last items. This is the time you really need to figure out what your role is in the team. When you get a bit more experience, you can figure it out yourself, but for now I'm going to break it down into 4 basic roles. The See Ya Laters, the Nuclear Launch Codes, the Human Wall, and the Gimme Gimme. The job of the See Ya Laters is to be a ball lake for the enemy team, constantly split pushing, preventing the enemy team from fighting altogether because someone will have to go and deal with you. The job of the Nuclear Launch Codes is to position themselves in a team fight so they can do the most damage possible while remaining fairly safe. The job of the Human Wall is to keep the launch codes safe and to soak up damage like a sponge. And the Gimme Gimme's job is to initiate the fight, normally grabbing or stunning a problem player in the enemy team. Once you figure out what your role is in the team fight, you will excel. Now you know what to do in game, let's have a quick recap. Load up the game and pick a suitable champion and role. Do your best to make a lead on your enemy laner, and if it starts to go wrong, just try to survive.
Big poo.
In the mid game, think about what will be the best items to build considering your team comp and the enemies. Try not to jump out of any windows while you're playing the game. Figure out your role in the team and in team fights, and finally, win the game. Honestly, there is so much to learn in League, and as I write this script, I keep thinking of loads of other things I could add. But truly, I fucking hate this game, and I don't want to spend any more time making this video than I have to. So Largy Large, what is the golden nugget of info that will 100% improve my gameplay experience? Here it is. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Hopefully Mike can get off my ass a bit about making another League video now. If you did enjoy it or somehow learn anything from this guide, make sure to give this video a thumb and consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me. If you want to support me further, the best way to do that is to head over to my Twitch and press on these buttons here. We're on a mission at the moment to get 75 followers on Twitch and 50 subscribers on YouTube before my birthday, September 6th. So if you want to join the Egg Den, we would be more than happy to have you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.